Welcome to the brilliant Women in E-commerce series of events as part of the International Women's Day Embrace Equity theme for 2023. I'm your host. My name is Emma Bagley. I'm also the founder and director of Zeal, a digital marketing agency focused on Amazon. Today, I'm joined by Katie Lindop, the e-commerce sales director at Swan. Welcome, Katie.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me as well.
Pleasure. Thank you. So if we start off the interview just with a bit more detailed introduction to yourself and your role, and tell us a little bit more about Swan. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Get started?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I'm Katie, and I currently head up the e-commerce sales department for Swan, which, as you can see, e-commerce covers everything more or less that's online anyway, any online retail. Predominantly, my speciality is with marketplaces. So the likes of Amazon, eBay, OnBuy, and a few new marketplace companies that have come on board at the moment. So likelihoods of like Debenhams, B&Q, and then one of our new platforms at the moment, which is TickTock Shop. So a little bit of delving into loads of different areas, loads of different consumers and target markets and things. So I've worked for Swan 10 years, just over 10 years now. Started off in the business just on returns administration, customer service, and as Swan has grown over these past 10 years, I've been quite lucky to grow with the business at the same time as well. There's two of my bosses who own the company, two males who've worked for Swan for, well, way before I did anyway. So the brand is 92 years old now, so it's a well-known UK British brand. So, you know, we with the business, how it's come today and where it was when I first started back 10 years ago is a completely different company to what it was back then. So Swan are manufacturers and distributors and retailers of any kitchen appliances. So kitchens such as kettles, toasters, microwaves. We also do housewares. So bread bins, canisters, sensor bins. So we like to think that we're one of the leading brands in the homeware and kitchen category, where we provide full collectability of kitchen design, kitchen trends, and kitchen appliances as well. So we do loads of different designs such as retro, Nordic, so more of a Scandinavian feel. We do quite low-end basic ranges for those people who just want a kettle, but we do try to keep up with market trends. So as trends change every single year, we're always trying to bring innovative designs into the market for those who want to make the kitchen look absolutely fabulous. So
yeah, and it really is a fabulous brand. I was looking at your website today, and I'm really excited to hear that you've gone into TickTock Shop. How's that going for you?
So really, really good. I think me and one of the other girls in the marketing team did our first 4-hour TikTok live a couple of weeks ago. So
wow,
our first live, and this seems like a doddle having this interview, to be fair, because we spoke for four hours continuously, and the anticipation of doing something for that long, that we're not going to do it, you know, we're going to be shattered, but it just went just so quickly, and we got really good engagement. And I think for us, for trying something so different, it worked really well. It was really successful. So now we're in the stages of planning what we're going to do next and how we're going to increase sales and visibility across the marketplace as well.
Great. But I've noticed as well that you're working with few influencers. Has that go well for you on TikTok as well?
Yeah. So generally, aside from TikTok, so from a social media platform kind of avenue, so we work with quite a lot of cleaning influencers that have really helped to drive the brand. Now, our brand predominantly back 15 years ago was more centered to females around the age of 45 to 65.
Okay.
With the help of influencers and targeting a younger consumer base through the likes of Instagram and Facebook, is now, it's given us a whole new target market to sell our products into. So even though we're still targeting that older generation who know Swan from like the 92 years of brand history that we have, we're now appealing to more of first-time buyers, not just females predominantly anymore. We're looking at males, so we're adapting our trends to suit the male industry as well. So now, you know, we've grown so much, and I do think that influencers, they're just like part of our sales team, because without them, I think we wouldn't have got to that point where we're targeting new consumers, because everything nowadays is social media led.
Yeah, it absolutely is as well. So just, I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later in the interview as well, but what are your first impressions of TickTock Shop? 'Cause it's still quite new, isn't it? So you obviously TikTok, and you can drive traffic from TikTok to your own website or to Amazon, but actually it being on TikTok Shop, how is that how are you feeling about that? How is
mind blown? Mind blown. So I think one thing that I like to do, and I think especially with my position here at Swan, we don't have that kind of level of authority to the point where I'm a director, I don't do anything. I'm one of those people that I love to get stuck in, be able to understand how platforms work. Now, even this morning, answering customer service questions on TickTock Shop was what I was doing at 8:30. So I think in order to be successful on these different marketplaces, you've got to understand how they work.
Absolutely.
From start to finish, through A to B, the whole process is really invaluable from an experience point of view, and the only way to make these platforms thrive. However, with TikTok, with it being relatively new, there's a lot of applications on the platform that probably need to be refined from a TikTok perspective. The customer service side is a little bit difficult because the process isn't implemented, because there's like a TikTok customer service side, there's a Swan customer service side. So where do things fall, whose responsibility, and I think it's just about we're now at that point where we're trying to define the process from a TikTok Shop point of view to make sure that it is streamlined, we're not letting the customers down ultimately. But when we look at it from a promotional point of view, so after our 4-hour live a couple of weeks ago, we're receiving 150 creator sample requests of people on TikTok, all the people who are doing their own videos, to work with us as a brand, to collaborate so they can showcase our products, and hopefully, of course, they're going to generate an income from that. But from starting the TikTok Shop just prior to Christmas, where we had no kind of outlet or no people to work with purely on that marketplace or on that side, now we're just inundated with the different creators that want to work directly with us.
That's fantastic progress.
Yeah, it is really good. And I think from that first live that we did for those 4 hours, the sales that we generated, I think, quite relatively small for us as a brand, but for something that is so relatively new, I think we did about £3,000 in 4 hours of talking. So we I must have done something right. I
must have done something right.
Yeah, something right. So I think this is just the start for us in TikTok Shop, and the way the engagement that we're getting, and we have an account manager at TikTok who's working really closely with us as well. That it has got the potential to be really, really, really big.
And do you think it will take over Amazon for you as a brand?
No, I don't think it, purely because of how long we've worked with Amazon. I think how market leading they are, and Amazon for us as a brand, it's our biggest account.
Yeah.
It's our biggest, I think, would be. It's a different platform. It's a different way of engaging with customers. And I think with the way that Amazon has traded for so many years, and how we've collaborated with Amazon, they're in two different directions. So I wouldn't even put them in the same basket in respect when we're comparing them. They're both, I think, hopefully, as TikTok becomes more successful, it will be more successful in its own way. Amazon is already successful in its own way. However, I do feel that Amazon do need to start to be a little bit more, being a little bit more creative in the way that they work now with consumers, because it is really getting a difficult and a competitive market generally anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. To be profitable on Amazon is
yeah. And I think ultimately as a consumer, the Amazon brand name, it's always going to be there. It's always going to front of any kind of platform, but when you've got the likes of all these TikTok shops, you've got all other retailers creating their own marketplaces, the competition is becoming really difficult.
Yeah, it is. And are you in the US at all, or just the UK? on any marketplace? Are you in US or UK?
Yeah, so we work with other companies in different regions.
Okay.
So US, so we have distributors and licensees of the brands to different markets on our behalf.
Exciting.
Yeah. So it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, your role sounds very wide-ranging and interesting and exciting. So,
yeah, it's good. Keeps me on my toes.
Yes, constantly keeping abreast of everything. And that's one of my questions later, actually. How do you do that? So I'll lead on to that later.
Okay, sure.
So specifically then about International Women's Day, the theme for this year is Embrace Equity. So what does Embrace Equity mean to you? And what does Swan as a business do to support equity as a whole?
Okay, so I think equity is about respecting people for their own individualities, their own quirks, their own requirements, whether it's in a workplace or whether it's in a social setting. And just being understanding to how people are and what they need. I think one thing that Swan is really good at, and I'm one of those believers that Swan does bring equity into a workplace, is I'm a mother. I've got 2 children. Of course, maternity leave is a given anyway in any kind of working environment. However, my bosses, who I work very closely with, have always been very supportive and been flexible for me with my children. So my partner works away Monday to Friday. And I work 5 days a week. I have 2 children, one going to school, one currently in childcare as well. So there's always going to be those days where the children are ill, or you've got to go and pick them up from school, or they've got a Christmas play or something along those lines. So Swan and the business owners are really good to the point where if I need that flexibility, they'll provide it. They'll allow me to be a female looking after my children in those times of need. I think me as a director, so I've got a team and we're females, males. We've all got our own needs and everybody, and I'm one of those people that I like to, especially when it comes to employment, bringing people into the business who are different. I like people bringing something new to the table. I think for me, I'm all about personality and conversation and excitement and being creative together as a team, because especially when you're working in e-commerce, you have to be creative, you have to be diverse, and you have to think about what's happening with the future, not what's happening yesterday. So there's people that have come into my team over the years that have had no experience in e-commerce, who've had no sales experience. But for me, it's all about looking at their personality, looking what they can bring to the table. I love collaborating with people from all walks of life. And it's just, for me, it's all about fundamentally coming together and embracing each other and respecting each other for who we are. We do work with some universities in the local area. So people who do come into the business who don't have any background in these kind of areas, we put them on courses so they can learn more about who we are as a business, what kind of skills they can bring to the table. And that's all funded free. So we always look outside of the box and give people that opportunity to be successful. And I feel in some ways I am that prime example of that person who came into a business with no knowledge, no understanding of how the retail world worked. And here I am sitting and hopefully striving for other people to follow in my footsteps.
Oh, that was a wonderful answer. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so not only does Swan sound a fantastic business to work for, but you as a boss, as a operational leader. Yeah, that's a lovely message. So thank you very much.